So let's continue the story. If we make haste, said Lydia, as they walked along, perhaps we may see something of Captain Carter before he goes. In Meryton, they parted. The two youngest repaired to the lodgings of one of the officers' wives. So here, repaired to the lodgings means went to the houses. Went to the house of one of the officers' wives. And Elizabeth continued her walk alone, crossing field after field at a quick pace. That means she walked very fast. Jumping over stiles. Stiles means steps made over a fence or a gate. And springing over puddles. Springing here means jumping over the puddles. With impatient activity. And finding herself at last within the view of the house. With weary ankles, because she was very tired, her ankles were weary. Dirty stockings and a face glowing with the warmth of exercise. So when you do vigorous exercise, then your face starts glowing. It becomes bright and it shines. She was shown into the breakfast parlor where all but Jane were assembled. So everybody was there at the breakfast parlor except for Jane, and where her appearance created a great deal of surprise. That she should have walked 3 miles so early in the day in such dirty weather and by herself was almost incredible to Mrs. Hurst and Miss Bingley. So they couldn't believe that she had walked all this distance. And Elizabeth was convinced that they held her in contempt for it. That means they hated her. She was received, however, very politely by them. And in their brother's manners, there was something better than politeness. There was good humour and kindness. Mr. Darcy said very little, and Mrs. Hurst and Mr. Hurst nothing at all. The former was divided between admiration of the brilliancy which exercise had given to her complexion and doubt as to the occasions justifying her coming so far alone. The latter was thinking only of his breakfast. So Mr. Darcy was admiring the glow that had been brought to her complexion due to the exercise, that long walk that she had taken. Then her inquiries after her sister were not very favourably answered. Miss Bennet had slept ill, and though up, she was very feverish and not well enough to leave her room. So Jane was very unwell, and she was not able to sleep properly, and also she had fever, and because of which she could not leave the room. Elizabeth was glad to be taken to her immediately, and Jane, who had only been withheld by the fear of giving alarm or inconvenience from expressing in her note how much she longed for such a visit, was delighted at her entrance. So Jane, when she wrote that note to the Bennet family, she did not mention that how badly she was affected by the cold, because she did not want to alarm the family. But when she saw Elizabeth, she was very happy. She actually longed to have Elizabeth by her side. And when Bingley left them together, could attempt little besides expressions of gratitude for the extraordinary kindness she was treated with. Elizabeth attended to her silently. When breakfast was over, they were joined by the sisters, and Elizabeth began to like them herself when she saw how much affection and solicitude they showed for Jane. So they really took good care of Jane. The apothecary came. Apothecary means the doctor here. And having examined his patient, said as might be supposed that she had caught a violent cold and that they must endeavour to get the better of it, advised her to return to bed, and promised her some draughts, medicinal drinks. The advice was followed readily, for the feverish symptoms increased and her head ached acutely. So she had a terrible headache. Elizabeth did not quit her room for a moment, nor were the other ladies often absent. The gentlemen being out, they had in fact nothing to do elsewhere. When the clock struck 3, Elizabeth felt that she must go and very unwillingly said so. Now, why was Elizabeth unwilling to go? Because she did not want to leave her sister, especially when she was very unwell. So, she wanted to attend to her sister. Miss Bingley offered her the carriage and she only wanted a little pressing to accept it when Jane testified such concern in parting with her that Miss Bingley was obliged to convert the offer of the chaise to an invitation to remain at Netherfield for the present. Elizabeth most thankfully consented, and a servant was dispatched to Longbourn to acquaint the family with her stay and bring back a supply of clothes. So here the word dispatched means sent. So Miss Bingley offered Elizabeth the carriage, which Elizabeth had gladly accepted, but because Jane was very unwell, she was very reluctant to leave Elizabeth, and so Miss Bingley had to change her offer. She instead asked Elizabeth to stay back, and so for that they had to send a servant to get a set of clothes for Elizabeth because she had to stay overnight with the Bingley family. So students, that's all about this story. I hope you enjoyed listening to the story as much as I liked reading it. Thank you.